Hello and welcome to my world. I'm of course Fred Caston. Normally 7 nights a week. You can find me streaming live over on my Twitch channel, the link of which can be found in the description below. This time around, folks, we're going to talk about Philadelphia sports once again. I talked about it previously here. It's in the archives. And we're going to talk about two teams. One overachieving and the other underachieving. And we're going to start with the latter first, and we're talking about the Philadelphia 76ers, who have lost their fourth game in a row since beating the Milwaukee Bucks last week on Christmas Day, right here in the greater Philadelphia area. The Sixers have been such a frustrating team to watch and keep up with this year. They they're currently sixth in the Eastern Conference. If the season ended today, they would be in the playoffs and they would be the sixth seed in coming out of the East. But quite frankly, if the season ended today and the playoffs started, the Sixers will be out in the first round. And it comes down to the mentality of the players. And that's right, the players. I'm not going to put any blame on Brett Brown because heaven knows he has done everything he could with this team. This team was basically built around having some strong defense, and when the players choose to show up and play, they are virtually unstoppable. Again, as proven when they basically kicked the shit out of the Bucks last week, and the fact that they were undefeated at home this at this point in the season. However, however, the fact that they give so many games away, I am livid of what I saw just a few days ago when the Sixers faced the Indiana Pacers. The Sixers didn't even look like they wanted to be there. They wanted to be anywhere else but on the court. And to a great extent, it really comes down to the star players, Embiid and Simmons, the two big men, the dynamic duo that the rest of the team was built around. Now, Embiid definitely has his issues, load management, and all sorts of other things there. But it seems like he took it to heart not too long ago when Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal, two Hall of Famers, criticized him for his lack of effort. And Embiid has shown flashes of trying to take his performance to the next level. Obviously, he can't play at a top level every night, but you show up to play hard. I mean, there is if you play hard, max effort, put everything that you have that night into your performance on the court, it's all well and good. So Embiid moving in that right direction. We can only hope that he continues. Ben Simmons, on the other hand, is someone who thinks he's already there, and it comes through in his performance, and that he is not trying to improve. He is not trying to get better. He is not trying to impress Hall of Famers who will take note of what he's doing the same way they did with Embiid not too long ago. Ben Simmons is someone that everybody is calling out to actually develop a mid-range game. And Brett Brown, the coach, stated that what he wants from Simmons is to get to the free throw line at least 8 times a game and to attempt to make a three every so often, to shoot from midway to beyond the arc every so often, just to attempt it, just to throw something else out there. Ben Simmons is afraid to do it. He feels like he doesn't have to, that what he does is good enough. And that's the worst thing that can happen. And there are already fans calling in to local sports talk radios, particularly on 975 The Fanatic, that's saying, you know what, this maybe try to trade Simmons to get someone else. There's a problem with that. One being that the rest of the NBA see what Ben Simmons is, so you're not at this point. You're not going to get much for him unless you says, "Oh, he has all the tools, he has all the potential in the world." But if the man himself is not looking to live up to that potential of what he can do on the court, then he's just a body on the floor. And we saw not too long ago that all he wants to do is be a facilitator. He wants to basically get the assists and let someone else take the risk, take the shots. Ben Simmons is afraid of the spotlight. He doesn't want to step up there. He doesn't want to improve his game to be the superstar that everybody and their blind grandmothers can see that he can be. So until he gets gets over himself, the Sixers are going to be a disappointment the rest of the way. But on the other hand, let's talk about a team that's clearly overachieved, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. If you, well, let's face it, 5 weeks ago, everybody, well, not everybody, but a good portion of the greater Delaware Valley was basically saying the Eagles should just lose out the rest of the way, forget about the playoffs, forget, basically give up on the season. But now they won four straight. They beat the Giants twice, beat Dallas, and beat the Redskins, and they are now hosting a playoff game in the first round against the Seattle Seahawks. And let's face it, the Eagles this year can basically be the actual embodiment of that Keanu Reeves film, The Replacements, because you got guys who are becoming names, but they are practice squad guys. These are guys so low on the freaking depth chart that it's a question like, who the hell are they? And it's been fun to watch. It's been fun to watch seeing Carson Wentz basically take this team of basically a group that's mostly of never will be's and putting them in a position to win. Is like Carson Wentz has done everything possible that a franchise quarterback could do with this type of team. And I don't think there are many quarterbacks that could do it. Now, granted, a couple years ago when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, it was kind of the reverse situation where the rest of the team basically had to bring a backup quarterback and Nick Foles along to, win the big game. But this time around, it I think that's too tall a task to had to ask for Carson Wentz to take this team deep into the playoffs to win the NFC and go to the Super Bowl. I'm not sure that could happen. Um, there would have to be so many things that would have to go right. Starting with this Sunday, tomorrow. But that said, I do believe the Eagles can win. That they can beat the Seattle Seahawks. And I make that a statement based on a couple of things. Number one, in terms of playing at home, the Eagles' defense is virtually the best in the league. The Eagles are incredibly tough to beat at home. They more often than not will hold opponents to 20 points or under at home. So that is in the Eagles' favor. Also in the Eagles' favor is the fact that the Seattle's defense is not the Legion of Boom. They are a decent defense, but they're not as good as they were a few years ago. And neither is Russell Wilson, who over the course of the past few weeks, I believe he's completed only 40 to 45% of passes out of the pocket. That's not good. That's not good. And they're Seattle has no running game to speak of at this point. They're depleted there. Granted, the Eagles are depleted at virtually every possible offensive position, but in a low scoring game in Philadelphia, if the Eagles can keep the Seahawks to under 20, they can win. They can win. Matter of fact, I want to make my position. I want to give a prediction here. I'm going to say Eagles 21, Seahawks 17. That's my prediction. Now, as far as the rest of the playoffs go, it's I don't think there's any way they can beat San Francisco. They might have a shot against Green Bay. I don't think they'll end up facing Minnesota at all. I think Minnesota is going to be like one and done. And the Saints, yeah, no way in hell that the Eagles can beat the Saints. There's just no way, logically thinking. But here's the thing: that's why they play the game. That's why they play the games. Like you can make all the predictions in the world, you can look at stats and everything, but end of the day, you never know what's going to happen on the gridiron, and I am looking forward to Sunday. I am. But anyway, that'll wrap it up for this edition of my little rant and raves here on my YouTube channel. Um, if you have your thoughts on the Sixers and Eagles, leave them in the comment section down below. I would love to read them. But until next time, my friends, and you are my friends, tighten your friendship bracelets, watch you hang down, and we'll see you next time. Bye.